What's going on, everyone? It's Prop here. It's that time. Halloween season. It's my favorite time of year. I love the weather, I love scary movies, and my favorite holiday, yes, Halloween. So I was at the drive-in the other night, and one of the movies showing was a movie I hadn't seen since I was a kid, since it was made before I was born. I enjoyed it so much, we're here to talk about it. Make sure you subscribe, take attendance to the classroom, turn on them noties for all my latest content. I should be uploading every other day, but let's get into it.
Sauced up, you can see I blessed up, I bossed up, now they say I'm messed up,
Alright, opening scene.
Elijah, pass to see my sister Emily.
With Thought's boy looking for Darth's sister on the horizon, Thackeray calls out for help and runs through the wood barefoot like a fucking boss. He finds out where his sister Emily has been taken, and there we meet the Sanderson sisters. As soon as Bette Midler enters the movie, she steals every scene that she's in.
Look, another glorious morning. Makes me sick.
She's clearly having a blast in the role.
Sisters!
And every time, she slays. Every time. Kathy Najimy and Sarah Jessica Parker, Mary and Sarah respectively, play the sidekick roles so well that I cannot help but enjoy myself every time all of them are on the screen. Probably more than I did as a kid. Anyways, the sisters brew the potion needed to take Emily's soul, and shit starts getting frisky.
Open up your mouth.
Thackeray spills the cauldron with the potion and tries to get out of there, but Winnie pulls a Palpatine. Just so fucking funny.
Sorry. She hates to concentrate.
They pull a Dementor and suck the soul from her body. Thackeray calls them hags, and Winnie dodges the disc like she's fucking Neo.
Uh-oh. Sisters, did you hear what he called you?
Well, he would have been able to save his sister if he wasn't such a pussy. So, they turn him into a cat, like Winnie would say.
Perfect.
Hey. I do the puns around here. His father arrives finally looking for his kids. The town arrests him and they're looking for Thackeray, and the puns keep rolling in. And I'm loving every minute of it.
I don't know. Cat's got my tongue.
Winnie casts a spell creating the black flame candle, which allows them to come back on Halloween after a virgin lights the candle for them. But Winnie finishes the spell before they drop, and it's over for the Sanderson sisters. Try not to get hung up on it.
dark.
Flash forward, we meet our protagonist Max, and he's clearly a skeptic as he hears the story about the Sanderson sisters from his teacher. I guess this is what the perception of California people were in the 90s, but Max pulls a smooth one on Allison before class is out and school's over.
In case Jimi Hendrix shows up tonight, here's my number.
He tries to catch up with her after class, but she pulls a flea flicker on him and gives him his number back. For some reason after school, he rides to a cemetery. He meets the high school douches from the Power Rangers, and they jack his Nikes. This is the second movie I've covered in a row where I've had to see someone get their shoes yanked, and y'all need to do better. For real, no, y'all need to do better. He goes home all sad and shit and starts to dry hump his pillow thinking of Allison, and his sister Danny pops out, thankfully, before shit starts to get weird. She pulls a classic little sister, and if you know anything about that, he has no say in taking her trick-or-treating. They're out trick-or-treating and they run into Beavis and Butthead again, and they try to take Danny's candy. And she is not going.
Drop dead.
At all.
I'd just like to see you try.
She calls Max over and he bitches out. He throws a fit and Danny once again has to act like the big sibling in the movie. They make up and stumble upon this huge house. And sure enough, it's Allison's house. I don't usually like kid actors, but Danny...
What do you call him, Max? Yabos? Max likes her yabos.
is killing it.
So take her to the movies like a normal person.
Danny makes Max agree to go trick-or-treating next year as Wendy and Peter Pan in exchange for being his little wing sister as they go to the old Sanderson house. Allison's mom used to run the museum where the Sanderson sisters' house was, so she knows right where it is, and they find the black flame candle, and right before Max lights it, Binks attacks. Not what he thought he meant by getting some pussy. Binks, he's gotta be on his 7th life. Anyway, somehow Max ends up still lighting the candle and the witches come back. Mary can smell children and Danny plays the role perfectly.
I thought that would never come, sisters.
Obviously the witches want to eat her. So Max tries to step in and gets static shocked. Max is able to grab the book and play the okey doke on the sisters. It turns out since the candle has been lit, Binks can speak for some reason, and they boogie out of there before the sisters can figure out that they've been played. They try to burn the book, but it's obviously protected by magic. The sisters pull up on them to try and get Winnie's spellbook back.
We fly!
Winnie wakes up her ex-boyfriend Billy from the dead since she can't touch hallowed ground and all the kids are at the cemetery. I know it's a kid's movie, but no matter how bossy Winnie is, she could see that she still loves her sisters. And I know they eat children and they're evil, but you gotta enjoy character building. I need to try this sometime. The calming circle?
The calming circle.
I am calm. You right. The sisters find this sweaty ass bus driver who's all over them.
I need one of those instant ice packs. You girls are giving me a fever.
Yeah, no, buddy. You're already moist. They escape through the tunnel and make their way up to the street.
Binks, look out! Whoa, speed bump!
Eighth Life? They try to go to a cop and he obviously doesn't believe them. But plot twist, turns out he's not a cop. It's Halloween. Duh. During a little filler, the witches get their brooms yanked.
My broom.
Purloined. I gotta put that in my vocabulary. Max and a group go to find his parents, and it goes as expected. However, the best song and scene in the movie is not. Max tries to expose the sisters, but when he pulls a fast one and entrances the crowd and makes them dance until they die. Until they die. Allison says that she has an idea, so they come up with a little scheme.
Okay, first of all, we need a scary place to lure her into.
Using the boombox and the intercoms, they trick the witches into going into the oven at the school, burn them in the oven, Hansel and Gretel style. They go home and celebrate, and Max and Allison try to figure out a way to save Binks from being a cat for eternity. Little did they know that the witches survived the gulag, and by opening the book, Winnie knows where to find them. During their brief time with the book open, Allison does find that salt will protect them before Binks wakes up and shuts the book. But it's too late. The sisters pull up and take Danny.
I'm just saying that if there's a big fat witch around, maybe you shouldn't walk through the woods dressed as Hansel and Gretel.
The book, and Binks. Sarah takes flight and sings the same song from the beginning of the movie. Now we know it's a song to enchant children to come have their souls eaten. And all the adults are cursed to dance till they die, so it seems like there's no stopping the sisters. As they try to force feed Danny the potion, she drops the hottest diss in 93. Are you ready? Are you sure?
Saul, you're the ugliest thing that's ever lived, and you know it.
Max comes up with a 200 IQ play, which is to fake sunlight using the high beams and a little bit of duct tape, which tricks the sisters long enough for them to get everything, spill the potion, and yeet it the fuck out of there. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Anyway, there's enough potion left for just one child, and Winnie wants Danny because she called her.
She really hurt my feelings.
She's jealous.
She don't even know me.
Bette Midler's still slaying, by the way.
You know, I always wanted a child, and now I think I'll have one. Toast!
The witches chase the gang to the cemetery, and Billy finally catches up to them. I totally forgot he was in the movie. Max tries to pull a pocket knife on the zombie for some reason, and it obviously doesn't go well. Forgot there was no Walking Dead. Billy was really in love with Winnie's sister Sarah, but when Winnie caught them together, she killed Billy. So he takes the pocket knife from Max and cuts the sewing off of his mouth. Yes, like Saw.
Wench. Trollop, you buck-toothed, mop-riding firefly from hell.
Sorry, Danny. Billy got you beat! They go to protect Danny in a circle assault to fend off the witches, but Winnie still manages to get the upper hand. With no choice, the Max downs the last of the potion to save his sister. So Winnie starts to Dementor Max. Oh. Ninth life, but she falls off the broom and now she's on hollow ground and turns into stone. The sun finishes coming up and Mary and Sarah blow up like the fucking Death Star. Emily and Thackeray's souls are finally free and happy ending. I tried to skip some of the fillers so you can watch it for yourselves because those are some of the best parts of the movie. High points, the sisters are great. Bette Midler steals every scene that she's in. Sisters!
Sisters?
This movie knows what it is, and everyone seems to be having fun, so that just makes it more fun to watch. I'm pretty sure I enjoyed it more as a grown-ass man than I ever did as a kid, and it should definitely be on your Halloween watch list. It's a classic. 7.5 out of 10. This is reminder number 2 to like and subscribe. Any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Like I said, I should be uploading every other day. I had 2 videos on copyright hold for a while. I've been waiting for a response. Those should be dropping as well soon. Thanks for your time, and thanks for coming to the classroom. I'm Prof. I'm out of here.
What a sight, love it when she take it off. Hold